my cousin? Did you see Peggy?
Hi.
Hey, what are we doing?
Burning.
Where are we at?
Bell and then somewhere in the school. I don't know. It's alright.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Yeah. Hi. Video. Video. Hey, Kuya. Kuya Ali. What are you doing?
Bub was only 40.
Since there are only 31 states that comprise the U.S., Bellarmine has been educating young men in the tradition of St. Ignatius of Loyola. It is my great pleasure to add the 398 young men graduating this morning to their ranks. Today marks an opportunity for those of us present to note and celebrate this important transitional moment for the young man about to graduate. And for our soon-to-be alums, today affords you an opportunity to express your gratitude to all those who have made the Bellarmine experience for you. Teachers, coaches, friends, and family. Imagine most of you know this next year will be Father Sheridan's last before he transitions on to his next assignment. I'm so grateful to Father Sheridan for the many ways in which this multi-talented student will attend Yale in the fall. I have the honor and distinct pleasure of introducing the valedictorian of the 163rd graduating class, Kenyon Duncan.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Meyercord, for that great introduction, and welcome administrators, staff, faculty, friends, family, and of course, my fellow Bellarmine brothers of the graduating class of 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand here before you truly tired. With Bellarmine tradition, I stayed up all last night writing this speech. In all seriousness, it is kind of surreal for me to be standing here on the balcony of Licardo, because it was here roughly 4 years ago that 8th grade Kenyon introduced himself to Mr. Alessandri by singing him a song. Now, unbeknownst to either of us, I would later audition for the musical The Wiz in my freshman year and find a home and a place to develop my voice in the theater department with my friends like Addison Lucia, Griffin Keller, and Justin Desolé. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I have to say that as I prepared to write this speech, I knew I didn't want to bore you with some words that would quickly be forgotten. I wanted to add something new to your lives, maybe even inspire you. So I did my research. I revisited last year's valedictory speech where Nikhil Baduma spoke about the real and lasting brotherly love that we have each experienced during our 4 years here. I looked back at Douglas Thorson's valedictory speech from the class of 2008, which endeavored to explore how that two-word phrase, "Go Bells," has guided our lives here and will continue to guide us in the future. I even ventured all the way back into the Bellarmine archives to retrieve a long since forgotten and dusty document, the valedictory speech of the one and only Mr. Bliss. Upon examining these documents and these collections of advice, I was at a loss. What could I add? What could I say that would be completely new to you all? At that moment, I could hear my father giving me one of his absolute favorite pieces of advice. Son, everyone at any moment in their life has a unique opportunity to speak into someone else's life. And here I was, with a golden opportunity, about to squander it rehashing cliched advice or simply talking about previous speeches. Thanks, Dad. But as I got thinking, I realized everyone at any moment in their life has a unique opportunity to speak into someone else's life. Everyone has a voice. Everyone has a perspective on life that's wholly unique and beneficial to the world when properly expressed. Even a short 8th grade kid who liked to sing. Everyone has a voice. Class of 2014, as my friend and this year's salutatorian Rahul Singreddy pointed out in his speech last week, this class is full of people with voices. Over these past 4 years, we've transformed from awkward, sometimes immature freshmen into thoughtful men for others who are ready for the world that lies beyond this Bellarmine life. And in that 4 years, we've used our voices to harmonize together in winning our 5th straight WCAL track and field championship, or our 9th consecutive speech and debate state championship, or our 30 straight CCS swim title. By harnessing the power of our collective talents, our collective voices, we have created beautiful melodies, and we have overcome, with compassion and understanding, those moments of discord that inevitably happen in life. For instance, this past summer, I was fortunate enough to travel with Mr. Hansbrough and a group of belles to Mexico and spend time at a home for abused and at-risk boys. This experience was nothing short of life-changing. I witnessed my own Bellarmine brothers like Abi Kumar and Emil Antone and Jerome Esperacion open up and connect their own Bellarmine brotherhood to the brotherhood that the boys shared in Mexico. It was truly uplifting. Through this experience and other moments like these, we have created gorgeous music with our voices over these past years. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, my fellow Bells, for your display of true friendship. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the greatest investors in our voices, the parents of the class of 2014. Whether it be by judging at debate tournaments, cheering at sporting events, or graciously watching our performances, parents, you have been our support system and our biggest fans through these 4 years, and for this we thank you. Parents, from our very birth till now, you have nurtured and encouraged us, investing your time and energy in us so that we could get to this moment, all 398 of us, and feel confident in the power of our voices. Others who have most definitely contributed to the maturation of our voices are the teachers and staff here at Bellarmine. From Dr. Dalton to Mr. Wong to Ms. Sabinsky to Dr. Sullivan, we have been blessed to be surrounded by people that push us to grow in intellect and in character. Whether it be my personal writing style, which has been forever changed by the efforts of Mr. Bliss, or my musical curiosity, which was expanded by the one and only Mr. Wyant. I cannot even fathom how different I would be without these teachers who pushed me to grow every day. I cannot help but think about the extreme literary depth of Mr. Alessandri's Faulkner seminar, or Mr. Wolf's interesting philosophical questions, which of course always lacked any sort of concrete answer. In these past 4 years, these teachers took our sometimes shaky and cracking freshman voices and strengthened and nurtured them so we could discover the true potential of the singing we might do. Class of 2014, these past 4 years spent with you have been the best 4 years of my life. And as we step from here onto what may seem like a brand new stage of performance, I challenge you to use your voice. Your dedication to the months of summer workouts before the season even begins, that's in your voice. Your focus on stage and in the classroom, that's in your voice. In fact, all of your experiences here at Bellarmine have helped create your unique and necessary perspective. And I believe that the world desperately needs you to sing. Therefore, my fellow Bells, as we leave here, I challenge you to harness the richness of your voice, a style that has been grown and matured by the opportunity, support, and love here we feel at Bellarmine, and go set the world on fire. As we heard from Father Sheridan and Josh Jacobs at the Baccalaureate Mass, that phrase isn't merely an Ignatian catchphrase, it's a call to action. And it's a necessary call to necessary action, because you have something to say. And sometimes for people to hear and really understand, it's something only you can give a voice to. This is what my dad really meant when he said that everyone at any moment in their life has a unique opportunity to speak into someone else's life. I'm not saying this will always be easy. The world beyond Bellarmine isn't always caring and nurturing, but we can't let that silence us. Each graduate here brings something special and unique to the table, and when we allow ourselves to share these talents, it's not just good, it's not just responsible, it's fun. It's absolutely thrilling to connect the world within yourself to the world around you, to use your passion to guide your real-life actions. Class of 2014, the teachers, friends, and family sitting here today have helped us discover and unlock our passions, our voices, over these wonderful 4 years. And now that we know we have voices and we have something to say. So as we step off of this campus today, after all of the picture taking and cookie eating, after you've thanked these fabulous teachers and family members and said your goodbyes, go take your voice and sing. Sing, sing a song, sing out loud, sing out strong. Don't worry if it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing, sing a song. Thank you, and always go Bells.
Alexander Kakianis.
Okay.
Brandon Callan.
Members of the class of 2014. It's been a long journey that we walked together during your 4 years here. At times joy-filled, at times stressful, at times just plain tragic. But through it all, you have exhibited the best of what it means to be brothers. Do you remember freshman orientation, coming through the gauntlet to the raucous applause of upperclassmen who seemed so much older, like they had it all together? Maybe what you'll remember is the Harlem Shake video. Bryce Dillon's patriotic chubbies. Your good fortune to be able to stay here longer on Fridays. I thought for sure that was a crowd pleaser. Or the night rallies before the St. Francis football game. Maybe you'll choose to remember the game itself, how it came down to a fourth down tackle at the end of this game to keep this fourth down tackle at the end of the game to keep this year to keep the win streak versus the Lancers alive at 9 and counting. That streak is so long that the last time we did not beat the Lancers in football, our starting quarterback was our very own Matt Zuniga, who's been our alumni director for 3 years. Sorry, Matt, too good not to share that. Or maybe the streak you'll remember is speech and debate winning the state title for the 9th year in a row. Or swimming for the 30th consecutive year. By the way, I'd like to point out I typed that line more than a week ago, confident you guys would get the job done. Some of the individual accomplishments have really stood out as well. Alex Doan and Zishan Malik did not have the chance to debate in the final round at state. Why? Because their opponents would have been John Nunziati and Vaibhav Menon. And when both sides are from the same school, they declare all of you state champs.
Yeah.
Justin DeSoleil made us laugh, groan, and cry. And not only at his relentless and usually awful puns,
I'd
but
be
quite movingly
butthurt.
in this fool's production of Amadeus. Or how about the likes of Money Yanasivim, Art Kalb, and the other members of Bellarmine's own Cheesy Poofs robotics team, and the amazing work they did in securing our world championship this year. I'm so proud of these guys. I've gotten over my bitterness at the fact that they didn't bother to figure out a way to motorize my scooter to get me around campus these last few weeks. And yet, as Rahul shared with you last week, the story of Bellarmine's successes doesn't begin to tell the story of this class. I really hope what you will take away, what you will remember, will not fundamentally be about wins and losses. Rather, I hope the lessons will be about how you pulled together in support of one another. The hockey team worked hard in the weight room and on the ice, and showed its commitment to others by gathering more than 350 blankets, sweatshirts, and jackets during the winter warmth drive. And it is that working together for a common cause, whether the goal is athletic or philanthropic, that I hope will stick with you in the coming years. And I know that during your time here, you also have been caused to think critically. Father Boyle and Thomas Awiapo last year helped us to understand that some of the complexities of the world, particularly with regard to those who are less privileged than we. Speaking of privilege, Dr. Kimmel this year taught us that privilege is invisible to those who have it. Some of us didn't like hearing that, didn't like thinking of ourselves as privileged. And then last month, when we heard Savannah Sanders talk about herself as privileged and speak about how she forgave the people who tormented her, I think we all realize that if she considers herself privileged with all that she has been through, then we certainly are as well. And I hope that our response is not to feel guilty about that privilege, but rather to feel inspired, to feel impelled to do something with it, to make the world better because of your presence in it. That's something many of you have already done in meaningful ways. Alec Bainline completed more than 400 hours of service, and Michael Guillermo completed over 600. You all helped us gather more than 8,300 pounds of food in this year's food drive. And the Big Brothers gathered more than 3,500 pairs of socks in the winter warmth drive. And speaking about our responsibility to our fellow humans in the joy of the gospel, Pope Francis gives the example of Jesus washing the feet of his disciples. He said that we must embrace human life, sometimes even taking on the smell of the sheep. We can't just be men for others. We also have to be with others. And when I look at all of you, I have tremendous hope. Because I have seen how a bunch of teenage males, guys who are supposed to be incapable of expressing their feelings, have simply loved one another through such heartrending tragedy these past several years. Far too many of you lost a parent way too young. And your friends and their families came alongside you and loved you in the midst of that pain, even when they didn't have the words to say, like we heard from Kevin Leary in his reflection last month. And last year, you all lost two classmates, Sam and Christian. And I know how devastated you were. I know how so many of you were hurting. And I saw how well you cared for one another, how you took care of each other and of Sam and Christian's families, and how you got through it together. That is exactly what the world needs from you and what you need from one another. Sometimes all of your strength will be gone, and you'll need to rely on your family and your friends. But some of the time, you can be that strength, that source of comfort for one another. At the end of the day, that's what it means to be a man for and with others. That is how you will set the world on fire, with your love. It has been a joy and a privilege to walk this journey with you. Thank you for all that you have done. And when you go, I hope that you truly will go with hearts full of love, committed to service. May God richly bless you all, and as always, go Bells. Thank you all, and also special thanks to those staff members who have helped so very much with today's ceremony, especially Kay Smith, Scott Swenson, Pat Talasfor, Juan Navarro, Corino Arias, Nancy Janda, Diane Seidler, Denise Treball, Jean Toohey, Sue Atkinson, Gary Cunningham, and Christina Lusher. My newest alumni brothers, please know how much we have enjoyed you and that you will be missed. You have made a difference in this school. As Father Boyle told us, Bellarmine is not the place you come to, but the place you go from. So as you go from this place, do so with humility and a desire to serve, to be a man for and with others. So now, for the first time, will all of you gathered here today join me in congratulating the Bellarmine class of 2014?
Find a hat, throw it, throw it. Like birds. Bouncing up and down.
He's bouncing up and down.
He has no legs. Oh, there he is. There he is. So short. Hey, Bob, I can't see you.
Jump!
Jump. Stand on a chair. Yeah, what?
You're drunk and ugly.
This is so annoying. 7 minutes of line. Yeah, brother. Let's go! Happy birthday! The first of 4. You're done! Let's go! The first of 4. Let's go eat!
Let's go eat.
They tricked you. They tricked you.
Yeah, it's fake.
Picture, picture. Thank you.
Hold it. Hold it. It's cute.
Thank you.
Take picture with Mom and Papa. Hey, let's take pictures.
2-7. 2-1. Gotcha.
Baby, what is going on?
2-1. 3-2-1. Gotcha. I don't know. I stopped down. Check it out. Good luck. Only like that is there. Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. How are you? Okay, the big tree? You know where the big tree is? Yeah, there's like 20 of them. Yeah.
What I said, in the middle of the two trees. Which one? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, well, like. Hey! Hi.
Hello. Who's this?
This is Mylan.
Hello.
Mylan.
Who's this?
Mylan.
Mylan. Yerlin. Yerlin.
Yeah. Hello. Hey, I'm Matt Lee. Let me see the poster. Animation major. Let me see the poster. I'm sorry. One by one? Okay. One by one.
One by one.
This is,
Alam mo din ako. Hindi na nga
Pwede nung Jojo. Hindi na Jojo. This is Mylan. Hold it. Yeah. Yeah.
Hi.
This is Kuya Nico. This is Mylan. Yeah.
He's going from eldest to youngest. He was. Yeah. Peter.
Yeah, that's his name. Yes.
What is this? What? Your hair is already straight. No. How would you call that? Meringue.
That's pretty clever, huh? Yeah, that's pretty clever.
Yeah, later on he's
So tired.
Oh, yeah.
I was one of it.
Ice cream. You know, she's the only one that I know that says that. She says, "I peck peck." Yeah.
You don't hear me say, oh, balls. Just kidding. Hey, Casey, holding her.
Yes. Case niyo sa pangalan niyo? No. Maliit na yun. Please no. Why is it like this outside?
What I wore is I don't have
You look snazzy.
any former clothes down my hand.
No one likes you are.
Dang.
Dang.
Okay, see now you just ruined it for yourself. Now no one likes you.
Carl, we'll call him Carl.
AJ, sing. Baby, you're worth it. So, don't act like it's a bad thing to fall in love with me. Dreams come true.
I don't wanna be so rude. Then don't be so rude.
all the way.
Why you gotta eat my food? I hate you.
Marry that girl.
What? Oh.
Rude. AJ, you gotta do it, remember? Okay? When it comes up. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Ready?
Why you mad? Why you mad? It's coming.
It's about the same, right? It's about the
Same thing. You're horrifying him.
He brings offensively, but is Indiana offensive
I know.
against this defense?
They haven't left that spot.
He's the only player in NBA history with 4,000 points, 1,200 rebounds, and 900 assists. Talk about versatility. Talk about dominance. And
Punta ka doon!
Patak ka.
Alis ka dyan!
Patak ka. Alis ka dyan and get the hell out of here. Amy, she's tired of you. Get out of here. Patak ka doon. Got it. Patak ka.
Are you singing?
Yeah. Okay, go. Just before the next season. Seriously,